Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Once again, this is Weapons Left, and today I'll be commentating on a Pro League match. This match has actually been played a little while ago, but it is spectacular, and thus I need to bring it to you. This is going to be Jangbi versus Fantasy in the free set from the Pro League matchup between SKT1 and Samsung Khan. This match actually was recommended by Artosis in his StarCraft Weekly little review, and honestly, Artosis is goes without saying, is just one of the better people that just exist within our StarCraft community. As a result, I take what he has to say very seriously, and I actually had watched this match, but had forgotten just how great it was, and I felt like it was a match that needed to be brought to you guys. Since I wanted to concentrate on the Pro League primarily, this is certainly a match that deserves some attention. For those of you that follow the Pro League closely at all. So here we go. The series at this point is tied 1-1. SKT1 versus Samsung Khan. These are two of the top teams in the Pro League at current. And it looks like we're going to have Fantasy as the Red Terran. He's going to be starting in the top right position. We have Jangbi, obviously the yellow Protoss, is going to be in the bottom left position, and this game is going to be played on the Garden of God. This game, or rather this map, is actually relatively balanced, so you really don't see very much of an advantage for either race, I would say, but by the same token, you see some very epic games on this map, primarily because of the ease of which you can expand in any race. There's a natural example, a natural expansion rather, that is accessible from a normal ramp, as well as another expansion that's actually located safely tucked behind your main. So there's a lot of opportunities for very, very creative builds, and really, when you talk about creative builds, there's one person that's obviously going to favor, and that's Fantasy. Fantasy is really, as far as really successful players go currently, I would have to say that Fantasy is the most innovative of almost any player that you see, and I say that without hesitation. Fantasy has really been showing people some of the most innovative builds, honestly, that we have seen in Pro StarCraft recently. And despite the overhype over the Fantasy build and things of that nature, really, if you're looking for somebody that comes up with just new and innovative stuff on a regular basis, but still just plays extremely high level consistently, it's Fantasy. And I mean, he's not afraid to take risks. He's very, very intelligent. Just a great player. And then, I mean, what needs to be said about Jangbi? He's one of the 6 dragons. He's one of the best Protoss players in existence. Capable on a good day of taking out somebody like Bisu. I mean, just terrific player. As a matter of fact, took out Bisu recently in the MSL. Sorry if that's a spoiler for any of you who are watching this. But I mean, Jangbi is a serious Protoss. So Jangbi actually sending out his scout relatively early, sending out that probe, which is literally one of the nastiest scouting units in all of StarCraft. I mean, I consider a probe in your base akin to having a fly or a wasp in your home. It's so annoying, so frustrating. It can sting you. It can do lots of frustrating things. And so he's got the probe in the base, just doing his typical thing, dancing around. Fantasy immediately getting his factory. Went for gas early, obviously. Against the Protoss, that's extremely important. A, because you don't want them to steal your gas. B, because of the fact that Tier 1 units in a Terran versus Protoss matchup, the Tier 1 units for the Marines and Firebats and things of that nature just suck against Protoss units at Tier 1. But a Protoss pylon actually being thrown down by Jangbi. It looks like he's sending a Zealot in already. So, okay, already sending in early harassment units, and it looks like Jangbi's going to do some damage with this. I mean, only one Marine out, so the Zealot takes out that Marine almost instantly, and he's going to go ahead and do additional harassment. Jangbi already on the offensive, doing some sweet micro here. But look at this block by Fantasy. That Zealot's not going to be accessed to the main at all, and he's dancing that second Marine around like his life depends on it. It really does, actually, and doing significant damage to that Zealot. SCV retreats, he was actually switching out SCVs based upon who was being attacked. Fantasy showing you already some brilliant micro, and one Zealot does, however, manage to make it into the main, and the second Zealot does as well. It takes out another SCV, so Jangbi already successful. Oh, look at that, and he's taking out 2 of these Marines. So that Zealot is definitely doing some work here, affecting the economy as well as taking out those 50 Mineral Marines. but that vulture out very quickly for Fantasy, so able to clean up the Zealot with relative ease, and then going ahead and immediately going for his machine chop. He lands that barracks. He's probably going to need some additional Marines to cope and to use for defense. Jangbi in the lead at this point. It's very important actually to note his gateway positioning, which I didn't have time for, just based upon how quickly he got his Zealot on, and just because of the fact that I was wasting time talking about other things. But that gateway being positioned outside of his base just gave him a little bit of a cushion in terms of where his units were spawning. And it looks like Fantasy throwing that vulture out or sending that immediately to Jangbi's base. So he looks like he's trying to get even with this harassment, and it looks like he's going to be successful in that. It rides right up the ramp with no interference whatsoever, takes out a probe immediately upon entering the base. But of note, and it looks like he gets another probe, Jangbi taking off a fair number of probes actually off of his line to deal with this vulture. So already this vulture, regardless of the fact that it only killed 2 probes, is getting its money's worth out of just all this harassment. Kills another probe, it looks like. So he's really putting in some good work. And look at this micro by Fantasy, getting another probe, microing around the Dragoon. Robotics facility has gone down in the meantime for Jangbi, and it looks like he's got a shuttle out already. The range is being upgraded at that cybernetics core, so it looks like he's intent on doing some more early harassment. And it looks like a tank already in the field for Fantasy, but let's see if he's actually what he upgraded first. I don't know if he went for Vulture Speed or if he went for Siege Mode first, and that's actually going to be crucial based upon the fact that I know that Fantasy enjoys playing with Vultures a lot. Like, he's a very, very skilled Vulture user, and in addition to that, he likes to drop and harass with Vultures a lot. So it would not surprise me if the first tech that he went for was Vulture Speed, and with all the early aggression that Jangbi is going for, it actually would be, and there's a robotics facility, so he is going for Reaver play. I would not be surprised to see a Reaver popping out relatively soon for Jangbi, and that obviously for the use of additional harassment. So we're definitely going to see, it looks like a Reaver pop out, and I'm assuming as soon as it does, he's going to send that directly to Fantasy's base. Tanks out and in force, but they are not sieging, which means I'm now certain that he is not researching siege mode, or at least he has researched something else first. Oh, but that's because he went for a starport. So wisely going for the starport here, no control tower, it is warping something in, guaranteed that he's building a Wraith here, I would imagine, to counteract the shuttle that more than likely is coming. So again, I mean, Fantasy showing you why he's Fantasy, building with specific purpose for everything. And it looks like that Wraith is probably going to be coming out relatively in time, actually, for the Reaver harassment that's about to come. At the same time, the machine shop looked like it was going. So more than likely, siege mode being upgraded at that point. So the Wraith is out on the field. Shuttle is out on the field. The Wraith there specifically for the purpose of countering the shuttle. But it looks like that shuttle is going to safely drop off this Reaver in the front door. And this is a strong push with these siege tanks not having siege mode at this point. A dud, little Scarab goes out there, but this is a very, very intense battle, and it looks like the Wraith is finally in position. But oh, look at that! Oh man, the Scarab managing to do incredible amounts of damage. That Reaver is super powerful at this point, because especially with the tanks without range, and they're laying waste to this factory. If this factory goes down before siege mode finishes, it's going to be a huge blow to Fantasy, with no real way to counteract this Reaver that's just sitting on his front doorstep. Oh, and it looks like he lays down another unit just to absorb the impact of that mine. Very nice micro that we're seeing here, extremely high level play. But look at Fantasy microing, throwing down additional mines just to make it so that that Jangbi has a difficult time pushing here. But there he goes. He loses one Dragoon, but that Wraith is going to be pushed back by these Dragoons. And it looks like Jangbi has the safety to expand here very smartly. This factory is going to go down. It looks like Jangbi is focusing this factory, and that's a huge deal. If that factory goes down before siege mode is researched, it's going to be huge in terms of Fantasy's ability to protect. Look at him, though. Fantasy microing like his life depends on it, throwing down additional mines, but all those mines are cleaned up, and all the factory does go down. No siege mode for Fantasy, and these Dragoons are going to push in, but he has laid some additional mines, has Fantasy, so it's going to be important to see whether or not. Oh, but he gets the Reaver with the tanks unsieged. Incredible play. Oh, and he uses those mines to great effect, and he manages to clean up those Dragoons. Fantasy literally just microed his ass off just now. Look at all those mines. Look how damaging those were. That was literally the only